Now on Denver 7 News, powerful storms leaving their mark on the Denver Metro.
One of my trees landed on my neighbor's roof. We were 2 hours away, couldn't do much.
As cleanup gets started, another round of storms already on the way. Our Denver 7 weather team is tracking the latest flood watches and warnings on this Weather Action Day.
We may not have everything they need, but we have the basics that they can get started with.
Plus, back to school is back, and with inflation making supplies more expensive, a local nonprofit is getting Colorado kids the supplies they need.
This is going to reduce the costs that hit American families in their pocketbook.
And the U.S. Senate passing major inflation legislation, but it still has one hurdle to clear before it gets to the president's desk.
Stormy weather coming and going on this Weather Action Day. This video shows the damage last night's storms left behind, trees down, power out, and this is just the beginning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Russell Haythorne. Meteorologist Stacy Donaldson has been tracking flood warnings and storms all day. Stacy, it's looking like round 2 tonight, possibly.
It is. It's one of the big changes is now the National Weather Service has put out a flood watch here for the entire Front Range, eastern Colorado, even to the southern part of the state until 11 o'clock tonight. So the storms that do show up could dump about 1 to 3 inches in less than an hour. So a lot of heavy rain is a potential. Rivers, creeks, and streams may flood. We already have a flash flood warning here west to Fort Collins, and also the flood watch in effect for the metro area. Up in this region, we've seen some heavy rain already move through, but the advisory and warning in effect until 6:30 and 8 p.m. respectively. Here in Denver, we really haven't seen much happening yet. We have some storms developing off to the west. They're coming this direction, and this will all fill in as we go through the rest of tonight and get more rain moving through. Light rain across eastern Colorado, and then really heavy rain here with a line down through the southeastern part of the state. We even have a tornado warning until 5:15 southwest of Lamar, mostly over the rural areas. Also a severe thunderstorm warning here, and we've had reports of baseball size hail here just south of Lamar, so keep that in mind if you're traveling through this area. Also flash flood warnings here toward Walsenburg, so a lot going on here across the state. Evening thunderstorms will be an issue and through tonight with that flood watch in effect. We'll talk more about how long this will last and whether we'll see more stormy weather tomorrow coming up.
All right, thank you, Stacy. And parts of the Denver Metro are still dealing with the aftermath of storms from yesterday. In Brighton, more than 1,000 people lost power overnight.
Yeah, that's right. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us live from Brighton. Colette, the power is back on for everyone, but some neighbors will likely be cleaning up for days.
Yeah, this yard definitely one of those spots that will still be cleaned. You can see these roots from this tree taller than I am. It absolutely demolished this sidewalk here when it fell last night. And then you just take a couple of steps backwards with me behind these roots. You can see the full extent of this damage. 3 trees falling here last night as a result of that storm. They've been working on cutting up these massive trees that fell. They even went into that neighbor's home. You can kind of see a little bit of that damage there up on the roof of that house. But even once these are all removed, it's still going to take some time to clean up the yard and fix this fence. You can see there's one in place right now, this chain link fence that's not the original. That original fence, the white picket fence, was one of the historic parts of this home that didn't survive the storm.
In this Brighton backyard, there's a lot to look at. From the plants,
Come on, Anna.
to the pets.
We have a garden here, back there.
It's the place Paul Malloy can count on to find a little bit of peace.
Always like fresh tomatoes. Better than store-bought. They taste like cardboard.
But this Sunday, it's far from quiet.
This used to be my 40-foot maple tree.
While out of town last night, Malloy got a call from a neighbor saying a storm took down 3 of his trees.
I guess we were lucky. Our house didn't get damaged. I feel sorry for my neighbors that my trees did damage to their house.
But what he says is being chopped up, along with the tree.
It's heartbreaking, it really is
a piece of history that's been a part of this house for more than a century.
I can't ever replace this, you know? I mean, take 100 years.
And the mess it left behind.
There's a jungle in here. There's 3 different trees.
Is the biggest job of the storm for Sean Brandow and his crew.
About anything to do with trees, we do it. Normally, when you look at a tree, when it's standing especially, it doesn't look like there's that much to it.
This is all from one tree, and this isn't even like 25% of the tree.
Stephen Dillard says he always wonders where to start on any job he has.
Seeing this, I had to walk around it like 3 or 4 times just to kind of grasp what really happened.
But there's a satisfaction that comes along with the cleanup.
I've always been that kind of person. I like seeing progress in anything.
Progress, even if it takes a week for Malloy to get his backyard completely back to normal.
Old house, I have a nice yard, and it really is going to take a lot out of the charm of this house.
But knowing under all the damage is the same peaceful place he loves so much.
Those with Creative Tree and Stump, who are the ones that have been working on clearing this massive tree from Malloy's yard. They were originally here last night during the storm. They hope to have this completely cleared by tomorrow, but today they had other projects they had to get to as well. Live in Brighton, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
I bet they are busy. Thank you, Colette. Well, for many Colorado kids, this is the last weekend of summer vacation. Hard to believe, but some Denver Metro school districts are headed back to the classroom as soon as this week.
Yeah, that's right, Jacqueline. And many parents are still out there buying school supplies. But this year, inflation is driving up the cost of just about everything. Denver 7's Christian Lopez looks at how much Coloradans are expected to spend and how one local organization is stepping up to help families in need.
It's a COVID test, a notebook.
Summer break is winding down for brothers Roberto and Juan Campos. They're getting ready to return to the classroom.
Hand sanitizer.
Pencil. Thanks to the nonprofit Adelante Community Development, now they're more prepared. When asked how they felt,
grateful for this.
We want to offer whatever opportunity we get so that the children don't have to stress about the things that they need.
Nearly 1,000 kids picked up free backpacks and school supplies at the Mile High Flea Market in Henderson Sunday morning. This came as a big relief for Anna, who is a single mother.
It helps a lot because at least that gets them started. So like they'll go in with what they're getting right now, and then depending on what the school asks for us to get, then we'll little by little start getting what they need.
The cost of school supplies is soaring this year. The National Retail Federation says families will be spending nearly $200 more compared to 2019. A survey conducted by the Morning Consult shows only 36% of parents across the country said they could afford their kids' back-to-school shopping. In total, spending is expected to match last year's record high of $37 billion. In addition to giving away those free school supplies, they also offered health screenings and free vaccines to those 2 and older, all to make sure that kids have a healthy school year.
You want to make sure that the kids start out the school year ready to learn. And in order for them to be ready to learn, they need to be healthy and they need to have all the tools they need. We may not have everything they need, but we have the basics that they can get started with.
If you missed the event, the group says you can reach out to them directly and they'll help you find resources. We'll also post a link of organizations and events on our website, thedenverchannel.com. Reporting in Henderson, Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
And as we get back to school districts across the country are facing dire teacher shortages. Many teachers are quitting, saying they are experiencing higher levels of disrespectful behavior from students and parents, excessive lesson planning demands, and extremely low wages. One former teacher from Erie tells us she felt overworked and unappreciated, and that's what forced her out of the profession.
I was definitely very emotional about leaving the kids. But I just started to realize that I needed to do it for myself. I felt a lot of guilt leaving because I know that there is that shortage.
According to the Economic Policy Institute, these shortages will only get worse. Their projections show a demand for 300,000 new teachers nationwide by 2024 if these trends continue.
Well, tonight the U.S. Senate voted to pass the Inflation Reduction Act. It passed along party lines with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking vote.
This vote comes after a marathon session where senators voted on dozens of potential amendments to this bill. ABC's Deirdre Bolton has the details.
The Senate working through the weekend as Democrats look to pass their sweeping climate, tax, and health care package. The amendment process, known as vote-a-rama, began on Saturday night, continuing on Sunday with senators voting on a series of amendments ahead of the final vote on the Inflation Reduction Act. Using special Senate budget rules, Democrats needed just a simple majority to pass the bill. They had no votes to spare.
The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
Senator Bernie Sanders with 5 last-minute amendments hoping to push the bill further on fossil fuels, prescription drugs, and health care. But those amendments failed as Democrats remained united to pass the bill.
We are elated. Every member of my caucus is elated about what happened because we've changed the world.
The legislation will make the biggest single investment in clean energy in the nation's history, allow Medicare to negotiate some prescription prices, set a $2,000 annual cap on drug costs for seniors, and lock in a minimum corporate tax rate of 15%.
This is going to reduce the costs that hit American families in their pocketbook. Prescription drug costs, healthcare costs, energy costs. It's going to make for a more secure and stable and cleaner and more affordable future for American families.
But Republicans disagree.
Now, they talk about it being on big corporations, but big corporations raise prices. They do pass it all down. So from our perspective, we will see those tax increases coming down the line, and Americans are going to feel it.
With only 3 months till midterms, Democrats hope to get the bill to President Biden's desk as quickly as possible. Deirdre Bolton, ABC News, New York.
And that $700 billion package now heads to the House, where it's also expected to pass because Democrats hold the majority there. Then it will head to President Biden's desk for his signature.
A big week for the Broncos. On Tuesday, NFL owners will vote to finalize the team's sale to the new ownership group. Now, in case you missed it, a new member joined the group just last week. Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton will now be a part owner of the team. He joins the Walton family, Condoleezza Rice, and Melody Hobson, the chair of Starbucks board of directors.
Starting tomorrow, RTD will temporarily close the west area of the bus terminal at Union Station. The area will be closed for the next 3 weeks so RTD can renovate the terminal bathrooms. The bathrooms have been closed since December when trace amounts of fentanyl were found on surfaces. RTD hoped to have them back open in June, but that date got pushed back even further because of shipping delays on new doors. The restrooms are expected to open at some point later this year, but it's unclear exactly when.
All right, coming up, flyers are frustrated after a summer filled with flight cancellations and delays. Well, now the federal government wants to help. Hear about the proposed rule changes that could guarantee cash refunds.
Plus, roads turned into rivers. See how massive storms are impacting Death Valley National Park next.